Royals who ate their own feces? Do you think kings only drank wine from golden goblets? What if I told you that some could eat their own feces? From lavish balls to isolation in dark chambers, the path to madness for some monarchs was a short one. Syphilis, inbreeding, epilepsy, psychotic disorders. All this was hidden behind the glitter of crowns. They talked to themselves, smeared themselves with animal blood, and in the darkest cases, lost the last remnants of dignity. This is not fantasy. This is documented history. And today we will delve into its most disgusting chapter. Subscribe if you love the uncensored truth and are not afraid to learn what others hide. Today we will delve into the dark secrets of royal abodes, a story that few people know about. Let's go in order. What is coprophagia? Coprophagia is a medical term that means the consumption of feces. In humans, this is an extremely rare but documented phenomenon, usually associated with severe mental disorders or organic brain damage. Most often it is recorded in patients with dementia, schizophrenia, epilepsy, or as a result of neurological injuries. And as we know from previous videos, there have been quite a few people with such problems on the throne. Coprophagia is accompanied by other disturbing symptoms: aggression, disorientation, hallucinations, and hypersexuality. Charles II Stuart. A disturbing entry was found in one of the recently deciphered diaries of a maid at the court of Charles II Stuart, the 17th century British monarch. She describes how she accidentally found the king kneeling at his bedside, his face and hands covered in feces, and a mumbling smile on his lips. He did not notice her. She did not dare to say anything. According to the maid, this was not the first strange night when the king had been awake, talking to himself, and doing demonic things. Was it really coprophagia? We cannot know for sure. But similar symptoms, delusions, filth, degradation, were also observed in Don Carlos of Spain, who beat servants and threw people out of windows in fits. Ivan the Terrible, in his later years, wandered through his chambers at night, spoke to the dead, and wore clothes soaked in blood. These kings were not simply despots. Their minds were decaying, perhaps through inbreeding, syphilis, or severe mental illness. Don Carlos. Once, Prince Carlos was found naked in a palace corridor, his pupils dilated and his hands shaking. His body was covered in feces, and next to it was an overturned chamber pot. He was muttering something incomprehensible, as if trying to protect himself from invisible enemies. Eyewitnesses were afraid to even approach. This incident was another alarming signal. Carlos's mind was destroyed. And although no one officially admitted this, the behavior of the heir to the empire clearly indicated a deep psychotic degradation, perhaps associated with congenital syphilis or the consequences of inbreeding. No matter how much we laugh at the Dark Ages, medieval medicine really did consider feces to be medicine. And this is no fiction. There was even a name, Dreck Apotheke, dirt pharmacy, where the list of drugs included human and animal excrement, urine, fat, dead tissue, and mold. Feces were mixed with honey or wine and applied to wounds, burns, or skin diseases. It was believed that they draw out pus and bad juices. Treatises from the 13th to 16th centuries describe recipes where donkey or child feces were recommended for treating fever, ulcers, and even madness. In this context, even the filthy behavior of deranged kings could look like a forgotten form of self-medication based on superstition and despair. One can imagine doctors and alchemists standing around the royal bed, smearing the body with foul-smelling concoctions, and sincerely believing that it would help. Marie de Medici, Queen of France and mother of Louis XIII, was deeply immersed in the traditional medicine of her time. Her private medicine cabinet, which was partly described by court physicians, contained ointments based on dried feces mixed with myrrh, olive oil, and ashes. Such mixtures were used as a rub on the skin for blood disorders, rashes, and blood stagnation in the internal organs. They were believed to draw out the disease through the skin. Historians speculate that some of these treatments may have been applied to the queen, especially after difficult childbirth or periods of weakness. Although the official chronicles are silent, The records of her personal physicians indicate that she regularly used exotic drugs. This proves once again that even the highest figures of Europe did not avoid dirt therapy, which was actually the norm for that era. Caca infantis. Yes, children's feces. They were considered the purest medicine for female hysteria, fever, ulcers, and even rabbit bites. They were used to make ointments, candles, rubbing. Some recipes indicate to be taken only from infants who were breastfed. For queens and nobility, it was a healing elixir from the diaper. The history of kings is not only the glitter of gold and power, but also dark and often disgusting pages that show human fragility and hopelessness.